Welcome to Spoon Press Audio, the podcast for your daily story fix with your host, author and award-winning entrepreneur, Anna Emm.
Don't Know Jack, Chapter 13. Charlotte is dreaming of her father. He's alive and sitting in a pool of light on a balcony, smoking his pipe. In the dream, she's trying to take a photo of him, but every time she looks through the lens, he has moved out of the shot. She keeps telling him to stay still, and her father just grins at her and puffs at his pipe. She aims the camera again, steadies it, and takes the shot. But when she looks at the still image in the window, he is gone. All she can see is the white smoke from his pipe. "Sit still, Daddy," she tells him again, feeling the frustration and desperation mount. She needs to take one last photo of him before he is gone again, his lovely face lost to her forever. Someone is knocking on her front door. Not now, Charlotte thinks, ignoring the knock as she aims the camera again. But when she looks through the lens, she can't find her father's frame in all the smoke. Where is he? Where did he go? If she can just... More knocking, urgently. No, not yet, she tells herself. Don't wake up yet. Not before you got the shot. Just take the bloody shot. Daddy, please. But the dream is already slipping. The knocking continues, pulling her away. There is something else she needs to remember, beyond the smoke. Something important. Stay here, Charlotte. Focus. "It's okay, baby," her father's voice says from somewhere far off. "Just take a look at what you already have. It's all there." Another bout of loud knocking rips the dream apart, and then suddenly she's awake. Her father and the smoke are gone. She's lying on her bed in the room in her flat, and the early pale light of dusk is coming through the windows. Charlotte stares at the ceiling as the disappointment wears off. She is still fully dressed under the sheets, she realizes, shoes and all. How did she get here? She can't remember. "Charlotte!" Throwing the sheets off, she gets up. Her head is still a bit fuzzy as she walks to the front door. What time is it? She peers through the peephole and recognizes Melanie, Mr. Beducci from downstairs' daughter. She unlocks the door and opens it. "Sorry to bug you this early," Melanie says, flushed, "but my father's been in a bit of a state. He says you have something of his." Mr. Beducci appears next to his daughter, his expression tense with worry. "It's okay," Charlotte says and rubs over her face with her hand, pushing the last of the dream away. "What's wrong, Mr. Beducci? What are you looking for?" He stammers, suddenly dazed. Then his eyes settle on Charlotte. "Did you find him?" he asks. "Did you get to him in time?" With a frown, Charlotte asks, "Who, Mr. Beducci? Did I find who?" "Kilburn Station, 8:30. Did you make it?" Charlotte looks to Melanie for help. Mr. Beducci is clearly confused. "Did you save Jack Forrest?" Mr. Beducci insists. "I'm sorry," Charlotte says. "I'm not sure who that is." Melanie sighs. "Sorry about this," she says. "He's been like this since 4 this morning. I can't get him to settle down." "It's okay," Charlotte says. "Why don't you come in?" She steps aside so they can enter. "Just excuse the mess. I've only just gotten in." She frowns. Why did she say that? Where had she been? Why can't she remember? They sit down on the couch, and Charlotte can't help but notice how frail the old man has become since she last saw him. He glances around in the room nervously, his eyes searching. "You okay, Mr. Beducci?" she asks. "Would you like some tea? I can make us some coffee, or..." He shakes his head. "Where is it?" he asks. Charlotte glances at Melanie questioningly. Edna's paintings, Mr. Beducci insists. I need them. I've told him we've donated them all to the art gallery, Melanie says apologetically, but he keeps insisting that you've got them. No, Charlotte begins, then stops. Oh, wait, do you mean the photos, Mr. Beducci? He looks at her, his blue eyes watery. Charlotte turns to Melanie. I took photos of all the artworks back at your mother's exhibition, she explains. I'm not sure if that is what he means. Well, anything would help now, really, Melanie says, hopeful. He really misses her, poor Dad, and now that he has to move out of the flat... Her voice breaks. Charlotte stands. I should have them backed up somewhere, she says. Let me just think, this would be, about a year ago? Was it still taken with her old camera? She wonders. Her father's voice come back to her suddenly, as clear as she had heard him in the dream. It's all there, baby. Goosebumps crawl over Charlotte's skin and she rubs her arms. She excuses herself and slips into the hallway. She opens the linen closet and from the top shelf she takes the box of hard drives. Searching through them, she finds a red memory stick with a sticker that simply says, Edna. Oh God, please, she mutters, and she sticks it into her laptop in the bedroom. It takes a second or two for the files to open. Charlotte chews her nail impatiently, and then heaves a sigh of relief when the thumbnails appear. Edna Beducci's art. They're all here. She picks up the laptop and walks through to the lounge. Good news, she smiles. I've got it. She sits down next to Mr. Beducci and Melanie and opens the first image at full screen. It shows Mr. Beducci's late wife, Edna, standing next to a large painting, showing a wooden storage crate suspended from a chain above a mass of blue water. It is the sense of being knocked to and fro that wakes Jack from his drug-induced sleep. His eyelids are heavy as he pries them open, but the darkness remains. It takes him a second or two to realize that he is in a moving vehicle, locked in what seems to be the boot of a car. He tries to move, but his hands are tied behind his back by some kind of restraint. And then the claustrophobia hits. Hey! He cries out and kicks against the sides of the small dark confinement. His throat burns and he starts coughing. But panic makes him kick even more frantically and cry out again and again, but to no avail. Beginning to hyperventilate and see stars, Jack tries to calm himself down. He shuts his eyes and forces himself to breathe deeply, imagining his strokes in the pool and counting slowly, 1, 2, 3, breathe. 1, 2, 3, breathe. And he finally feels the whirlpool fade. What the hell happened? What is going on? He tries to think, to figure it all out, but his thoughts refuse to settle on anything that makes sense. The vehicle turns and then comes to a stop. The engine is switched off and everything grows quiet. Help! Jack cries again and kicks against the lid of the boot. Let me out! He can hear a door open and shut, and then another. There are muffled voices and footsteps, and then, finally, a key being inserted in the lock of the boot. As the lid opens and fresh air and light rush in, Jack shields his eyes with his hand. He can make out 2 figures, but before his sight can adjust to make out their features, a pair of rough hands grab him and yank him out. Taken by surprise, he offers little resistance as he is dragged from the boot. As soon as Jack stands upright, he sees that they are next to a river. The sky is turning to soft grey as the dusk nears, and they're standing in some kind of small loading zone with a few containers and a forklift vehicle parked to the side. He recognizes Susanna and the bald man with the black beard. Blake, the man who was injured in the incident with the apple, Charlotte's ex, who said he was going to kill Jack. As if on cue, Susanna lifts a small silver pistol and aims it straight at Jack. He gasps, raising his hands. What are you doing? Oh, shut up, James, she hisses. My name is Jack, he utters, trying to comprehend the unfamiliar hatred and coldness reflected on her beautiful face. Who cares? James, Jack, John, it's all the same to me, as long as I get paid. Jack stares at her. Paid? Aw, isn't that sweet? Blake grins. He thinks you really loved him. Do you want to break it to him, sweetheart, or shall I? Susanna smiles. I must admit, she says, besides having to look at your boring face all day long, this project wasn't all too bad. There was the money, the nice car, the Lani flat, pretending to go to work and then going to the spa instead, sitting around sipping tea. What are you talking about? Jack stammers. I don't. It's not real, babes, she says and pouts. I don't have a rich daddy and my name isn't Susanna. Sorry, I lied. God, it feels so good to finally say it. I was paid a shitload of money to babysit you and make sure you don't write that silly book. But you were the one who told me to quit my job and focus on writing, Jack exclaims, his mind racing to make sense of it and finding no place to land. The woman, who isn't Susanna, laughs. Oh dear God, you are stupid, aren't you? Why do you think you stopped writing after we got together, Did you just think, oh, the inspiration has left you somehow? Or that you had writer's block? That it had nothing to do with all those energy blockers I put in the boxes in our living room? Jack stares at her. Blockers? Are you just going to repeat everything I say? She hisses. Of fucking course there were blockers in those boxes. You didn't really think they were full of fabric samples now, did you? Blake laughs. What an idiot. But, Jack stammers, why? Why what? Susanna hits back, irritated. Why didn't you want me to write? He stops, and then it hits him. You mean the turn of the sky? That's what this is all about? Oh, who knows, Blake says, and honestly, who fucking cares? And then he roars with laughter, as long as the pay is good. So then, Jack frowns and turns to the woman. You were never actually kidnapped. She snorts. More like brought in for questioning. They weren't happy about the whole swimming pool business, but honestly, how was I supposed to know the swimming sessions of yours would be where they'd make contact? I just thought, good grief and thank you, that I could drop the whiny baby at the pool for an hour so I don't have to keep track of him. Anyway, I made a deal. I'll help Blake kill you, and then they won't hold it against me. Jack stares at her and she laughs. Oh, don't look so shocked, babes. You didn't really think I'd be interested in someone like you now, did you? Okay, that's it, Blake says, before Jack can answer. Time's up. The sun is coming out. We need to get him into the box. No, wait, Jack protests, but the woman presses the pistol in his face. Move, she orders. With his hands still tied behind his back, they usher Jack to a wooden crate about the size of a kitchen cabinet. Get in, Blake says, and to his horror, Jack sees the man picking up the end of a thick chain. The other end, Jack can make out, is connected to the dolly of a small crane. They are going to throw him in the water. No, please, Jack tries, but they roughly bundle him into the crate and force him to lie down on the wooden floor. Goodbye, sweet cakes, Blake grins. This is for my bike. Say hi to the sharkies. He moves to close the lid. Wait, the woman, who used to be Susanna, stops him, and Jack heaves a sigh of relief. But then she takes something from her pocket and throws it into the box. It clatters down right in front of Jack's face. It's a small plastic casing, like the remote lock for a car. A blocker, she smiles, just in case you were thinking of writing your way out of this. And then Blake shuts the lid, and darkness enfolds. No, wait, Jack cries. Don't do this. Let me out. He kicks against the wall of the box with all his might, but the wood is sturdy and thick, like concrete. It doesn't budge. And then he hears the rattle of the thick chain as it gets drawn closer.